Greetings, fellow gamers, and welcome to That Game Place. We've got a lot to talk about today on our live stream, and we have, well, 4 people here to talk about it, at least to start. Decent chance we'll see Spencer later, and maybe another one of the fearless leaders here at the channel, but it is great to see all of you waiting for the show to begin, and if you can, double check you're still subscribed to the channel. If not, turn on subscriptions, turn on the notification bell, turn on all notifications, and go ahead and turn on the like button. That's right. Get the like button going and share the stream, share the dream as we march towards 5K, 10K, 20K, 50K. We're going to stop at 40K though. Take a couple moments, play some 40K. Anyway, we got a whole group of gamers that are crazy. They're fun. They're excited. And I'm excited. We're going to get to some live streams here coming up in February with live gameplay between all of us. You get to hear us call each other everything but a good milk cow, but it's all because of you. That's right. Our fellow gamers in the chat, all 50 some of you, and growing. We've already got a super duper chat in the house, and we've got 3 other panelists in the house. So let's get me off the screen and introduce today's starting panel with Frank here from That Park Place. Good to see you, Frank. We've got, of course, Stone Cold Loki down there. Loki's Mornings of Mischief. Check out his channel. He's great. And he knows more about video games than I've ever forgotten. And then this guy down here is Marvin the Movie Monster. He does other things. In fact, he is Mr. Montanero over on That Park Place, the editor-in-chief, in fact, and of course, the puppet master behind Toonie Town TV and Toonie Town Wrestling. It's great to see all of you gentlemen. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Hello. I'm very tired, but high energy. Very tired, but high energy.
Well, I know what's great is that we've all been seeing some crazy stuff going on, and it does help us. There's plenty to write about, which is why Marvin's so crazy. It's
yes, the news never stops, culture, especially in the last couple of weeks. It's been a non-stop newsarama over on That Park Place, and especially in the gaming sphere, because the industry likes to light itself on fire every couple of days.
It really, really does. And it's fun because I get to write stories from an opinion side. I don't have to be constrained by, like being a journalist like you do, but I've been having fun too. There across the entire span, whether it be pop culture or the American experience, the culture war, or even, of course, the stuff that Marvin writes about theme parks and the whole nine. There's more than enough news to talk about today. We have a lot to get to. We have a lot to talk about. So I'm going to start off first with saying thank you to our first super duper chat, sending us $5 worth of quarters. We already started. Going to need to play some Street Fighter Alpha. I'm excited about that. We've got, so when are we going to start getting games reviews? Actually, I think as video games come out here over the course of the next few weeks, I think you'll get some reviews. But we do have some reviews. Loki's done a review. We've had a few other people do some reviews. We'll get more reviews out there, I assure you. 15 to 30-minute dedicated video reviews with gameplay footage. Oh boy, do we have those. In fact, I think Loki may have sent me one that I failed to put up. So
I am going to write a little letter to God right now to slow the rotation of the earth and add an extra 6 hours to the day so that this can happen for Butter Biscuit.
Well,
hey, you might get some Rebirth PC footage possibly very soon. I mean, it comes out Thursday, so yeah.
Yeah, so you like I said, it's not like we don't want to do all these things. It's that there's only so many of us on the team. We are looking to add more team members, but I would say thank you.
Yeah, I would say, culture, that it's coming. It's all coming. It's all coming soon. We just have to find a workflow, right?
Yeah, well, we're working on the workflow, so no excuses. You'll be getting content reviews from me about Assassin's Creed Bologna Sausage. Sometimes after whenever that comes out, I don't know.
So you're buying that game?
I don't have a choice.
Well, how the tables have turned. When I bought Veilguard to talk about it on the show, I was ripped to shreds.
But you loved it.
That's besides the point. No, I did not. By the way, guys,
I was joking, but no,
getting ripped to shreds, not playing Veilguard.
Yeah, Butterbiscuit says, pray very hard, make it happen. Well, we got a great group of folks out there. We got the very positive one, Mark Fields. We've got Jerkface. We've got Low Spec Linux Gaming. We've got Davina Duckworth, Joseph Frostghost, and so many more. Argentum in the house. Hello, young lady. We've got Ninja Pat and Mega Combat. We've got Juliet from across the pond. Good evening, dear. And Ironcaster, what's up? So many more folks out there. I just want to say thanks for hanging out with us today. We've got to get to some of our first stories. You know, there was an interesting side effect that I did not know was going to happen. Maybe you guys did. There was a social media company that had their well, they actually turned off their own servers ahead of some kind of deadline where they were going to be banned. But what I found fascinating was that, Marvel had some trouble. And it wasn't the good Marvel game. It wasn't Marvel Rivals by any stretch. It was Marvel Snap. Marvel Snap went down.
Yeah, it did.
Down. That's crazy.
I liked Marvel Snap for a while. I was pretty addicted to it for a little bit there.
Yeah, see, this was up. The developer hopes to be back online within 24 hours, as obviously TikTok came back up. I imagine this came back up. I haven't seen any updates to this particular story, but yeah, the developers were working hard to get it back online. Maybe it's back. Marvel Snap was banned along with TikTok, and many other things went down as well. Marvin, do you have to know what else, or any of you guys know what else went down because of this?
There was a list. I don't remember exactly what it was, but the only thing I really cared about in the list was Marvel Snap. Everything else could go, including TikTok, for all I care.
Well, I mean, if you needed your Marvel fix, you could still get Marvel Rivals, obviously, but this is attached to the developer that is in China. The publisher is Newverse, and they were working with everybody to get their stuff back on. So that's crazy, but there were several things that went down. Players who were missing out on the content while waiting for Snap to return obviously could go and play Marvel Rivals, but Marvel Rivals is doing pretty good, I would say. What about you guys? Pretty decent numbers on Marvel Rivals.
Marvel Rivals is doing amazingly, as well it should. Free to play, super fun, Overwatch killer. Sorry, Frank, what were you saying?
What's the current player number right now on Marvel Rivals? Let's see.
Oh, I don't know.
Everything that Concord wished it was, but wasn't.
Right now it looks like 319,596 people playing right now for a 24-hour peak of 450,941.
Yeah, I mean
it's so impressive.
Yeah, it's doing really, really well. And it is now currently back online as I check, because I want to make sure we have the most updated information. Anything
in similar news culture right now, 7 people are playing AEW Fight Forever in the world.
Ah, well, I mean, can 7 people really fight forever, or does it just get exhausting?
Exactly.
I don't know.
But the most important part is how many are playing at Dustborn. Let's see. That's very important for me as Norwegian. I need to know. Yeah, 21 in 24-hour peak. 0.
I want to say
that is two players right now. 2.
Okay. Well, I want to say that it's very important to update about Dustborn because, I guess you Norwegians actually paid for it.
Yeah, I'm reminded of that every single day. I pay my taxes. It's also even worse when because you guys have a number, I think around $500,000, which is what has been stated online was given as incentives to this game. That's actually not the right number, based on the forms and how much they've actually gotten is around close to $2 million. So yeah, that's the real thing about Dustborn, and there's a lot of nepotism in that business here in Norway, which is just it's a whole article on its own. So hopefully I'll see if I can write one about that. But we're not happy. We're not happy here in Norway about this.
Well, I don't think the UK is very happy about the films they're paying for the Disney to grind out the flops on their tax money. Stone Cold Loki, any thoughts on Snap or ByteDance or any of these things that went down and have come back up?
I'm glad for everybody that plays Snap, Marvel Snap. I don't. I've never played it. I probably will never play it. But it just goes to show you all of these live service games, which we have said ad nauseum over and over and over again. As soon as they're shut down, that's it. Any time, any money, any investment, anything you've done, it's gone. Why? Because it has to be connected to a server that knows what's going on, that monitors everything. Games like that need to be almost niche. They need to be their own thing instead of all this push from Ubisoft and all these other companies to make this the standard. Well, it's got to stop, because as soon as it's gone, it's gone. There is no getting it back. There is no getting it back working. It's just dead.
Well, and that's actually the conversation that I think we need to continue to have, is to remind everybody that if you accept these live service games or gaming as a service, right? Software as a service versions of stuff, they can always go away. Whereas if you just have a solid disc confirmed gold copy of a video game, you can still put it in your console, you can still put it in your PC and play it. System Shock, I can still go back and play if I want to. I mean, there's a whole list of old games that I can put in my computer and it will work. It's amazing. We don't have games like that anymore. We have day one patch games, and we just need to start demanding better from these gaming studios. And I think that Loki and I talked a bit about this in today's video about GTA 6 being a price testing test ground for the gaming industry. So you might want to check that out. That video from today. Tomorrow's video is explosive. Can't wait for that one to come out, but I'm very excited. So regardless of whether or not you have a great affinity or love for Marvel Snap or not, I can tell you that that's just one of the many problems. So thank you, Loki, 100%. Anything else you guys want to mention about this? Because we're going to move on.
It's just, I mean, they're going to put. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Frank.
I mean, they're going to set a very dangerous precedent if they put $100 per game, mostly because the inflation is not going to be able to cover for people who actually, like, $100 is way more than what it used to be 5 years ago, even. So, and I do think there will be people who will pay $100 for GTA 6, and companies will see that as okay, so they accept it. But frankly, the quality that one expects from GTA 6, such as Red Dead Redemption 2 as well, has to be that quality for you to even consider $100 for that game. And even then, it won't be without a sour taste. In fact, most people will probably just wait until it's on sale, and which is going to lose the money.
Yeah,
with any game now, any major game, you've got DLC. I mean, you've got microtransactions. People are generally paying way more than $100 for these games already. So to already put $100 price tag on it, people aren't going to stand for it, especially not for like new experimental games that, like, I wouldn't pay $70 for, let alone $100. And here's the thing, it's a $30 difference, right, Culture? Which is not like a whole heck of a lot more, I guess, depending on how you look at it. But mentally, the $100, seeing 3 numbers instead of 2, that's a mental thing that's going to make a lot of people tune right out. It makes it feel like more than a $30 increase.
And again, I mean,
$30 is
no, I'm with you. I'm with you, Marvin, and I'm with Frank, and I know that Stone Cold Loki and myself are with you. But if you just watch the video, you'll understand what our broader concerns are, because there are some. So you guys can check that out later. For now, we're gonna move on. I got this really strange message. I mean, people send me messages all the time. Today, I got a couple of really weird ones, but one of them was a hacked Twitter account. No, it wasn't you. Well, one of them was a hacked Twitter account trying to fish me with the same scam that they used to hack the person that they hacked their account. That was no bueno. But I'm going to tell you that I got one the other day about this from one of our viewers, that about this TeamKill Media. situation, and I was unaware of it at the time. I got surprised by it. I wanted to bring it all to you. Many of you probably understand what's going on in the background, but we've got a lot of these really strange like events happening behind these games, and the marketing is as such that they don't release all of the information, so they irritate somebody. So they're kind of rage marketing or hate marketing their stuff, which I don't think they realize isn't a positive. We'll talk about another one of those circumstances later. But let me bring up this story because I'm surprised because it doesn't make sense to me. And we just got another chat here. I promise we'll get to that super chat in just a moment. But this story from TeamKill Media calling out modding is vulgar and claims it makes a joke out of our art, won't release code Violet on PC. Now there's way more to this story, and it's this is not Marvin's issue. It's the fact that they told the gamers or the consumers one thing, and there was far more to it, right? Marvin, you wanna take us through this particular claim?
Sure. So this is coming out as a PlayStation exclusive, and people are asking, what about PC? When are we getting a PC port? This looks pretty cool. When are we getting PC? And they were like, never, because modders will just take our precious female characters and make vulgar mods of them. Modding is vulgar, and you're all vulgar. They didn't say you're all vulgar, but it's basically makes a joke out of our art or whatever it is. They said it is maybe the most pretentious thing I've seen a studio say in a very long time. Like calling your video game art, like it's just further proof that the video game industry and developers are so disconnected from gamers. Gamers are not looking at video games as art, they're looking at them as games. I personally think, like, and this is going more into opinion, that this goes beyond just modding. I think that they have a deal with Sony and they're just not saying it because they're also not bringing it to Xbox. And they said because it's too difficult to bring it to Xbox.
They do. I thought they did. I thought it was confirmed that they did have a deal with Sony that was like an exclusivity deal.
I'm not 100% sure on that. But
no, it is. It says right here, and if you press the tweet, they literally confirm it. It will be exclusive to PS5.
Yeah, so, they have an exclusivity deal.
But they're not saying that it's because they weren't saying in the tweet that it was because they had a deal with Sony. They were saying it was exclusive to PS5 because they don't want to put it on PC and because it's too hard to put it on Xbox. That was the excuse that they gave. Whereas I think that actually they have a deal with Sony.
Yeah, it's really wild.
We were just saying they do have, because they said they do. But you're right. They're like saying, "Oh, well, we're not going to do this because of this," when they have a deal with Sony.
It is very odd, and I'm gonna say it out loud. It caught a lot of people off guard, and it made a lot of people kind of mad at them. And I'm like, okay, well, I can get the anger, I can get all of this other stuff. It makes perfect sense. But at the same time, you should tell people why. You shouldn't leave people hanging. It's like, look, we've got an exclusive deal with PlayStation. It's not going to come out on PC anytime soon, and maybe not ever, since we are not fans of modding. They didn't have to come off as very high and mighty or virtue signaling, which is, like I said, it's kind of what they did here. Tell me if I'm wrong. Did you not perceive some kind of virtue signal on this?
Oh, it's 100% a virtue signal.
Yeah.
I even quote Frank in the backlash section.
Really?
Yeah. If you want to show the tweets, but it's like they're also hypocrites because, like, I pointed out in the tweet because of what I mean. You'll see it right now.
It's well known they do these monetary deals where it's like, oh, we'll only come out with it on PlayStation and we'll give you this amount of money, or only come out with it on the Epic Store and we'll give you this amount of money for making it exclusive for you. We all know they do that. They said, oh, we've got it exclusively with the PlayStation.
I just feel like
it's obvious. It's obvious why it's not coming to PC. And if they don't want the PC money, let them not have the PC money.
Mm-hmm. It's obvious, but they're not. They're saying, like, somebody asked about Xbox and they were like, "Oh, it's too hard. We can't bring it to Xbox. It's too difficult."
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have. They said they didn't have the manpower for it. And the thing is, we just talked about. We said like, whatever big brain move someone in the marketing department, I'm being sarcastic here, said like, okay,
Right.
we're not bringing it to the PC. Let's just say that we believe modders are vulgar instead. I mean, that's going to make everyone happy, and especially the PS5 bros. No, I mean, they would have gotten more by just being honest, saying like, look, we have an exclusive deal with PS5. It's going to come exclusively on PS5, and that's it. Or even if they didn't, they would go like, look, it's way too hard to optimize it on Xbox because we have to optimize it on not just one Xbox consoles, but Xbox S, I think it's called, which is a fairly worse console of all. Maybe the only one that's behind it is Switch. So yeah, and if they said that, people wouldn't be angry at them. They'd be like, hey, fair enough. It's completely fair.
I feel like they're setting themselves up for negative buzz. None of that makes sense. I mean, look, if you're a PlayStation exclusive game maker, I understand that. There's a lot to porting your game to begin with, or optimizing it in for multiple, venues, because consoles are not the same. And although I don't know for how much longer they're gonna have to optimize for Xbox, because I don't think it's going to be around all that much longer. I don't know about
I think it feels like that they've given up. And as I also state in this comment, I know you can't really show the entire picture, but the hypocrisy in this is that as I say, for God's sake, someone on your team was responsible for designing the skin tight outfit on your main character, and you want to call us vulgar? It's like that. That's in the trailer, and it's a very well defined. And it's like, you're not really making sense here. So it's like, first you're calling modders vulgar, which, by the way, is very stupid, because modders are pretty much the reason to why many games such as Skyrim still is thriving today, despite how old is Skyrim now? 12 years? No, how old is it?
I don't even know. A long
2011,
time.
It's been out for a long time.
And it's still now being played because of modders. And so I don't know what they were thinking. It makes no sense. Like, the only one is like, back in the day they kept saying any PR is good PR, so controversy would be good PR, but it doesn't work like this anymore. Bad PR now has shown over and over again that it does the opposite now. So maybe they're still having this old mentality, like all PR is good PR, but it's not.
My response was equal to yours, right? Because I was I when I got this sent to me, I'm like, this is dumb. I'm like, that if you're a business person, at least if they would have expressed at the time that they had a PlayStation exclusive deal, then I would have understood and maybe tempered my comments even further. But Micah, of course, is one of the founders. There were 4 brothers that started this company. Mike is the guy right now who's in charge. And I said, in quotes, we don't want to make money because someone could, in another embedded quote, do something that we don't like or would make us feel bad, quotes. I said this, and I didn't even yell or scream or say anything negative about him or whatever. I said, you're going to take a lot of flack from the PC crowd, but in the future, if you do go public or allow yourself to be sold, the motivation would be profit. Good luck. I didn't say anything harsh at all. And thank you for finding that quote, Marvin. I didn't even realize it was in there. But it's one of those things. It's like, the reality of it is, if you're a game maker, you want to make profit. And again, I mean, Veridark is quoted in here. A lot of people are. It's interesting that studios are allowing for the negative PR stuff to happen, like Frank was pointing out. I don't know. Loki, did you get into any of this, or do you even care about this game?
Oh, I do. But you got to look at the bigger picture here, and you got to know something hanky is going on. If anybody remembers, Square Enix came out not too long ago and said, hey guys, please don't mod our game. Why? Because we are deathly afraid someone will do something inappropriate. Why? Because we have all these people on our backs telling us that if we do A, B, C, D, E, or G, we won't get releases in the US and they're going to shut our studio down. Who is telling them this? Who is feeding them this in Japan? Who goes to the guy that created Dragon Quest and tells him, you have to do this body AB thing, because if you don't, they won't release your game In the United States, it's not going to get released, which means that we're not going to be able to make it, which means you pretty much have to do this. Who is giving them this information? Guess what? Modders have been around forever. Modders have been modding games for decades.
Yeah.
It's not something that you just get around. For a while on 360 and PS3, mods were happening on there without Xbox even able to control what was going on. You could download car skins for car games, all kinds of stuff that you could do back then that you can't do now because they've got all of this control over all of it. So why is this happening, and who is telling these people be deathly afraid of this? Because if it happens, you know, your whole studio might disappear because of a mod team embarrasses you.
Yeah. And that's actually what happened because Bethesda kept releasing broken games. But we're going to cover another one of these controversial situations that only come about because of social media, because we got another story coming up about that. But I want to get to the conclusion here. I think this game has hurt itself more than it's helped itself. Despite the fact it was on PS5. And I'm quickly, guys, what do you think? You think I'm right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And it was 100% preventable.
because right now they might think, okay, I didn't really know about this game, but now I know for certain I'm not going to buy it, even if I didn't know. So that's the problem with, like, it used to be 10 years ago that any PR is good PR because you suddenly know about something, a film, a game, or anything, and that would unconsciously make you search for it, look for it, clicks. And clicks was how you got money. Clicks. And that's why you see these articles that have like these huge, strange titles that make you click the article, and then the article is actually not that bad. That doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work in the game industry. It doesn't work in films anymore, because the moment now people see this or hear this, the first thing they'll say, I will not buy this. I will not look at this, and I will not support this. And it's become more obvious with all the companies that have gone broke because of this. Like just now, I read that what was the game? Yeah, let's see. It's called Unknown 9. Yeah, the Unknown 9 company is Reflectors now also, closing down. It doesn't work.
That was a Sweet Baby game, wasn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, no. So I think they really hurt themselves, and I'm not going to be surprised if the game fails.
You're muted, Culture.
Oops. Yeah, I said it's wild, and I don't think it's going to help. And we're going to get to another story that covers the same kind of ground. But we've got some supers I need to get to very quickly, gentlemen. If you don't mind, I'm sure you're okay with it. We have had lots of wonderful support from our supporters out there. Let's see. I believe did I get to this one? Oh no, Jacob Foxfires for $5 worth of quarters. We're up and running, guys. Thanks to Butter Biscuit. Jacob Foxfires. When I see something costing $100, I think groceries. Well, I think it's basically half a grocery cart now, but I understand. I think of things that badly need to be replaced. Me too. A game in such a tough sale for people like me. Yeah, a game is a very tough sale for people like me. I don't know, you guys. $100 for a game, that is spendy. I mean, oof.
It would have to be complete, no DLC, no hidden costumes, no extra downloadable BS, none of that. No DLC 2 months after the game comes out. None of that. You give me a complete game for $100? Okay.
Well, okay. Go ahead, Frank.
And the quality that Rockstar used to do with Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 5. I mean, we're talking Baldur's Gate 3. That's the only kinds of games I would even consider $99 to, like. It has to be full. I completely agree.
That's understood, and I'm with you. Crazy stuff. We got another $5 from our friend Jacob Foxfires. That's a lot of quarters, man. $15. We're gonna get to pizza soon. This is great. Also, this is madness. Modding a certain character isn't some huge disrespect to the voice actors. I don't know anyone that makes the correlation, and neither do
really
I.
Weird, yeah.
I completely forgot to mention that. Yeah, that also was like, it's like that makes no sense.
Yeah, and I think it's very frustrating. Go ahead. Mark.
My first thought when you're Googling something to do with Sonic the Hedgehog and you see all the terrible artwork out there by accident, and is not to say like, oh, this is terrible for humanity. It's poor Jaleel White.
Yeah.
Right. It's the poor voice actor.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. Anyway.
I mean, if they continue with this and they continue to, I mean, I'm not assuming, but let's say if voice actors now say they demand a lot more, they demand more, they want more pay, they want everything. Like they continue pushing it. Unfortunately, I'm not being cruel here, but eventually they might get replaced by AI voice acting, and this they need to be careful with because it's already happening in Genshin Impact, which is already a big game that earns a lot of money. So I don't know. Yeah. It's I don't agree with it, but on a company based way, I can understand it. I can understand it completely.
Right. Well, I can't understand a lot of things nowadays, why companies do certain things, which is why my channel kind of exists, because I talk about that on the regular. Why is the company doing this? This seems against their best interest. Yet companies still continue to do it, so it's pretty wild.
Look at how close Hollywood and the gaming industry have gotten, and look at the downward course the gaming industry has gone on, and the increased pricing the gaming industry has gone on. As things have gotten more complicated, we want professionals. We want this guy. We need the guy that played Judge Dredd to be in our video game, or to be the actor that promotes our video game, and the more executives that roll in from Hollywood that suddenly become part of the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And look where we're at.
And they only come in when there's money. $60 billion. The gaming industry is worth 60. I'm not sure, but it's worth a lot of money, more than the film industry. So of course we get these people come in. Hey, you need my expertise because I'm an expert and I want money, and that's always how it goes.
All right, and from the Nest track for 200, I think this is Danish krona. No,
yeah, it is.
Okay, very good. And he says, "Thank you for the great content, everyone. Cheers from Denmark." Well, thank you, my friend.
It's about $25.
Yeah, $27.92. I had to look it up. I can't believe you did that off the top of your head. That's amazing.
Norwegian. We're good at two things here in Norway. I'm a Norwegian Italian. We're good at two things here in Norway. Converting currency. Don't ask us why. The Danish guys knows why. And geography. It's two things we're pretty good at.
Well, that's good. You got to figure out where your next meal is coming
building wooden ships to ply the seas.
Oh boy. Anyway,
that's the past. We found America, looked at it, said, "Nah, we don't want this," and we went back. And then some Italian came and saw America and was like, "Hey, let's introduce this to the world."
Well, I would just say this: the Danish folks do seem to have a lot of territory as well, so there is that. Speaking of which, thank you very much. This is incredibly generous, and we do appreciate your support. Now, before we move on to the next story, we absolutely have to show the leaderboard, which just immediately and magically changed. That's right, because in the lead. In the gold supporter is the Netstrack, and the silver supporter Jacob Foxfires and Butter Biscuit 92. Of course, for the month it's Teniel 89, who I imagine will show up a bit late, just like normal. But we do have a new guest, a co-host, so to speak, a man that does the super chats better than me, and he just always looks more handsome and put together than I do. It is Jonas J. Campbell. Hey, what's up, Jonas?
It's really easy to say when I'm renting someone else's face.
Oh, you're renting the face?
Well, I don't think I can use this avatar forever without consequences, but who knows? Hey, everybody. Sorry for being late.
No, you're fine. I think you're probably hanging out with Pro. Up to the 341 of you, thank you for joining us today. We are very excited. We have many stories to tell you. We've only got through about 2. We've got a third one along the same lines as the last one, which will give us something to talk about in depth. I have to tell you, I saw this controversy show up and found myself yawning.
Oh no.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because it started out as a nothing burger, a disagreement about what would be in the content of a game that you could, if you chose to, skip. You wouldn't even have to see it if you didn't want to. It doesn't make any sense for everybody to get bent out of shape for this. And yet they did. And this is the story that I think Marvin will tell best. So what I'll do is I'll put it up on the screen since he happened to write it. Kingdom Come. Deliverance 2 director Daniel Vavra attacks YouTuber who was defending his game. Grifter comment backfires big time as allies turn on Warhorse Studios. Now, look, this didn't need to happen. And it happened for the same reason that we just talked about before. Looking at a way of negatively marketing your game so that that marketing goes viral. I think making significant statements about your game that are going to irritate people isn't effective marketing. It just doesn't work. And fortunately, we have Spencer joining us now to help break this down. But Marvin, tell me, break this down. Let people know what this actually means, because it is bananas.
So a whole mess of controversy got stirred up with around Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Some Saudi Arabian outlet had said, "Oh, this game is banned in Saudi Arabia because there is an unskippable gay romance scene that you have to experience. Because of that, we're banning it." So everyone was all of a sudden like, "Oh, here we go! Proof! It's woke! It's woke! It's woke!" So then Daniel Vavra, who has a reputation of being kind of one of the more base game devs, he periodically sticks up for gamers and criticizes the industry. He stood up and he was just like, "Okay, here's how it is. There's optional romances, kind of like the way Mass Effect or Dragon Age used to be, where you could go through the whole game and not encounter that kind of stuff if you don't want to, basically leaving it up to player choice." And some people still took that as the game is woke, it's woke, it's woke. And whereas people like Endymion and our friend Frank here and Grums and Smash JT and Vera, they all said, "No, guys, like you're going too far. This is not a woke game." Grums even quoted a source that had played the game that confirmed, "Hey, this isn't woke." So then Rev says Desu, another big YouTuber, he went on to make a video about all this. And in the video, he's defending Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. However, Daniel Vavra sees the headline where it says, woke game, but it put it in quotes because he was trying to debunk the fact that it was. He sees the headline and he attacks him and calls him a grifter. And then everyone turned on Daniel Vavra, like as one.
This didn't have to happen. These are the things that irritate me, right? I mean, I'm seeing it in real time. I'm like, this is a nothing burger. I ignored this. Jonas and I collectively talked about it yesterday, and we both were like, this is a non-story, and then it changed.
I liked the story because it kind of plays into something that I feel very strongly on, which is the how quick the community is now to kind of like label everything as being divisive or woke without having context, Right. And that's a slippery slope. It's almost like woke derangement syndrome, I guess you could call it. But Daniel Vavra, I guess he was backed up against the wall and he was ready to like take on all comers, and he saw someone coming in trying to help him, and he kind of like punched out, but then when the guy called him on it, he didn't say, "Oh, I'm sorry, my mistake. I'm getting it from all sides. Thank you for your support." If he had done that, everything would have been fine. Instead, he was like, "Well, then maybe you should be more clear with your headlines," or something like that. It was not good, right, Frank?
Yeah, no, it's like I just sent you an article, in fact, about this entire thing, because I remained much quiet, also because I'm moving, so I'm very late to the party. But when I got all the information that has come out currently, it's clear that one of the biggest issues that's come out on both sides is they're jumping to conclusions. Daniel Vavra, he just jumped on conclusions with Rev, I saw the video, I saw that your article, and he shouldn't have done that. He should have actually read it, because now he's excusing it as like, oh, maybe you shouldn't use this type of hyperbolic title. Like the title.
I mean, he's right about that though.
The title is woke in quotation. Kingdom Come Deliverance backlash results in mass pre-order refunds as developer loses trust. And I both can agree and see his side of it, and Rev, because my issue with this is that if you just, as I said, if you just have a very extreme title, but then you actually read the article or you actually go in, you realize it's not really what the title presumes it to be, you will get the truth.
Yeah, but that's dishonest and that's bad reporting though. Like, as somebody who writes headlines, I can't agree with anybody who goes super hyperbolic statement. Oh no, that's not what I really meant. Like, to me, that's just like, dude, you're not helping anything. You're feeding into the situation by going, let's whip everybody up. So even though Reb was defending Vavra and Kingdom Come 2, like, you're going about it in the wrong way.
I completely agree with you on that. The reason to why I'm criticizing Daniel a bit is because this is an article about his game, so he should have actually seen the entire context of it, because he himself was criticized with Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 back then, that a lot of people just jumped on the Gamergate the situation where he supported it, but then it turns out the Gamergate is actually, if you look at the entire context of it, it's completely different, something else.
But at the same time, though, he like you just said, he's getting it from all sides, even people who supposedly are quote unquote anti-woke or on his side. So I really don't blame him for going, oh, look, somebody made a really dumb headline, and then for everybody to go, wow, oh my gosh, why do you not know this? That's so rude of you. It's like, well, Reb was the one who started it. If Reb would have been more clear in their headline and said, this is dumb or whatever, then nobody would have gotten here. I feel like this is such a disingenuous, like, everybody here has a role to play, and to say, oh, this is all on Vavra is just like, guys, we got to be able to call out people when they do dumb things on our side as well. And this is one of those moments.
One thing I will say, the space has gotten a lot more conversational than it was, say, 10, 20 years ago.
Yes.
The idea of, the idea of someone, like, say, going on a podcast that lasts for a couple of hours in an afternoon, and you could say any number of things, and for the sake of all of us being able to talk, no one has to be held to ironclad, like, everything you say has to be completely 100% verified. You can't get a number wrong. You can't do a misquote. Like, that era is gone, just for the sake of all of us saying. I think maybe I'm not being clear here. I've seen a lot of takes where somebody said, well, they were on a podcast talking for about 3 hours, so I forgive them for this error, this error, this error. You know what I'm saying? I think that, and I'm not saying that Park Place does not try to be accurate in headlines or something like that, but I think the threshold here is very different than it was 10 or 20 years ago. Like, we're trying to get information out fast. This is one where everyone has their backup. Everyone has the side that they are a part of. And some of people just being so sick of having to deal with people that they view as either disingenuous, that accusation that anyone who disagrees with me is a grifter, that seems to be lingering around out there in the discourse. I don't know. I want us all to slow down a little bit here. And I'm not talking about the people on this panel, but some of it is correct and some of it is inappropriate, and we all have to work out for ourselves where that line is.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Yeah, and again, it's why we changed tax, right? When we discussed this yesterday, and again, Jonas and I do talk about what we're going to do. But when we talked about it yesterday on the phone, I'm like, this is a skippable thing. And then it wasn't anymore.
Well, also, don't forget, everybody's on red alert, kind of. You're going to see something happen to Ubisoft. There is no ifs, there is no ands, there is no buts. Something big's going to happen. Either they are going to get completely bought out and the Goulimonks are going to lose control of the company, or they're just going to go and it's going to be gone. Something big is happening. A lot of people are getting fired. A lot of people are getting let go. A lot of people are switching jobs, leaving companies. I used to be the head of this, that, and the other. Pick up sticks. Something big's going to happen. And that I bet on both sides, the customers who feel like they have been treated poorly, and the people that are making the stuff that either are behind all this and all for it, or have their arm wrenched up behind their back and are being told, you're going to do this, you have to, otherwise, your business is gone. Whatever it is, something's got to break, and I think it is. We are in the opening stages of that happening.
I think so.
I speak against woke derangement a lot, on my show and whatnot, because I think that, we are getting a little too far with it, but I understand where it comes from at the same time, because especially in gaming, we have just been hammered with virtue signaling and identity politics for years, and especially in TV and movies and just in society in general. So everyone's hackles and everyone's shields are up for this, and they're ready to pounce. So I get it. I'm just saying we need to be more mindful.
Well, and I don't think that the mainstream has learned. I'm talking about mainstream in a broader sense. The mainstream, the big media. I don't think they've learned yet that is just so distasteful to their audience that they're slow to cover it, or they're slow to cover the reactions of people's backlash, or they're not intellectually honest about it. It's one of the things that I think can win some of these late night talk shows some bonus points is if they just realize that they don't speak for very many people anymore, and that their humor isn't directed at the right things anymore, and the reason that the backlash against a lot of this engineered society stuff that they've been trying to force upon the US is because it's just been over the top and so terribly hyperbolic for so many years. You can't. So when it's understandable that people are sensitive to this. I think we'll all agree, right? Because it's just identity politics and the whole, rigmarole has been shoved down our throats for so long. If you just look at the results of an election, you can tell that. Yep. But the hyper feminization of this country and the popular culture as a whole has really kind of driven people that immediately have reactions if they get any whiff of that type of thing. So
one thing I'll throw in here is on the other side of that, there have been some instances that we probably shouldn't go into too deep on this channel, where people have assumed on the anti-woke side of the argument that everyone who is against wokeness is on the exact same page. Therefore, they're going to pull out a call to arms and assume that everyone agrees with them on whatever it is, which is something that I think people have taken for granted here, that the anti-woke thing, there's been a point that I think a lot of people ignored for a very long time, that the woke argument only represents a small subset of people. And there are some moments here or there where they've been able to put, okay, well, racial grievance, we'll bring that one in to their big tent. Gender grievance, we'll bring that one in. Oh, LGBT, yeah, we'll pull that all into one. And you know who the enemy is? The majority in the United States, whatever you want to define that as. It's classic Marxism. Is what it is. So as more of those people have been like, no, I don't think that traffic signals are racist. No, I don't think that random policies that say that you need to be to school on time are racist. They've peeled off people over the years. And I think there's been a misperception by some people who have always been on, let's say, very conservative in one way or another circles, to say, oh, I'm being more convincing. No, it was the other side that has been more insane. So there are so many things to unpack, and I feel bad for Daniel Vavra in this, and I'm not as up on this story as everyone else probably is. I feel bad for this guy that his game is not the highlight of this story. The conversation around the game is quickly becoming insufferable.
Jonas, can we agree, though, that peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are actually racist, though? Because it's about time someone pointed it out.
I've actually heard peanut butter is on that list of racist things.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
That's right. I'm going to say it right now. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter. Anyway,
I'm more of an ice cream cake guy.
All right. Well, I thought other people would know my reference. It's fine.
No, I was the second song by those guys.
I mean, it's not 2001 anymore, but I got it.
Thanks, Spencer.
Ouch, Spencer.
Here comes culture. Hello, fellow kids. Okay. Anyway,
I mean, Family Guy was fun.
Okay. All right. Goodness. Well, look, we hammered that subject to pieces, and the only thing that I came away with, and I don't know about the rest of you, is this conclusion. Maybe take a step back, take a deep breath, do a little research before you fire into crazy.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, and that's why I think hopefully you'll like the article coming out.
Yeah, Frank has done an entire timeline on this entire situation from beginning to end.
Amazing.
Well, let me use the German word wunderbar. All right, Jonas, can we dive into the lovely support that we got in the chat?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Let's see here. Tanil89 for $20. Yeah, I'm late. My bad. Dude, you are never early. You are never late. You are always when you intend to be here.
We appreciate it very much. I said so in the chat.
Yeah. Tanil89 for $2 more with his 10th super chat. That Benedict Cumberbatch on the horse.
It kind of looked like him, didn't it?
Benedict Cumberbatch. What a name.
It is a name. Yeah. You've got a name.
Tanil89 for $5. To be fair, as gamers, we've got a decade of precedent for being on guard against wokeness, and like triple of that being blamed for all of society's woes. Yep. Video games have been blamed ever since the start of video games.
What was the name of the lawyer who kept going after Rockstar for every time?
Jackie Thompson.
Yeah,
that's his name.
Yeah, I remember that. Or when Hillary Clinton blamed and every mass shooting on video games. It was like, yeah, I remember that. And then there was a research that actually came out that had been doing this research for years and proved that video games, frankly, did the opposite of violence.
Yes.
And no, it's just ignore it.
Don't forget the House subcommittee on Mass Effect, where they spent like millions of dollars over a 20-second clip in the first game, and it was like, it's a this simulator. It's a simulator for this. I'm like, it's 20 seconds. Do you know how many hoops and hurdles and relationship blah, blah, blah you have to go through to get that 20-second clip?
Yeah.
However, I would rather that my tax dollars go to that study than go to Dustborn. So
I feel bad for the folks in Norway. Okay, but let me ask you a question. And we have many authors on this panel. I'm looking at many of them, like 5. I don't know. Loki, you want to write something? Because we can all 6 be on. Anyway, the reason I want to ask this question is, why aren't we writing an author about what happened to the lawyer that sued Rockstar every
Jack
5
Thompson?
minutes? Yeah. Why aren't we not writing?
Sick of them, aren't they?
No, but I think wouldn't that be fun? Like a retrospective on where did this person go? You know?
It would, but unfortunately, he's been gone. Do you real like? I hate to do this to everybody, but do you know what year it is? It's been like 25 years since he was relevant. Like he just isn't around. There's nothing to write there. Nobody cares about him anymore.
I know where he is. I know where he is.
Disbarred,
he has a subterranean little room where they buried all the Atari games back in the day. All the
he's got a bunch of ET
games.
He's got a bunch of ET cartridges.
That's all he plays.
He was disbarred?
Yeah, he was disbarred in 2008.
I just honestly think that'd be kind of a fun retrospective, because there are going to be people who are going to be like, oh, I kind of remember that, and then it just one of those interest stories.
He was totally right. We should bring him back.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about historical rewriting, there's a more mainstream narrative right now that it was the conservative Christians that were behind the satanic panic, but Frank brought it up. Hillary Clinton and Tipper Gore were the ones that were railing against video games.
Okay, but that's going to be a really complicated topic, because there's two different things there. There's the panic around like, oh my gosh, think of the children with violence, and then there's the legitimate satanic panic, which was a conservative Christian push event.
I'm not saying that they had nothing to do with it, but the legislative aspect, the consideration on Capitol Hill was done by Democrat lawmakers.
But the best thing it gave us was that one character on The Simpsons that keeps going, won't someone please think of the children?
Yeah. Helen Lovejoy.
Yes.
Can I just say, because we have a bunch of these super chats we need to get to, but can I just say that no, it's fine. I love these discussions. It's one of the reasons I love this show. Every Tuesday, this is like, I'm ginned up for this, man. Tuesday is a beautiful day. I get to stream all day, but it seems like The Simpsons and South Park have been a great way to catalog events in American history and culture, because of those characters that are created and stuff like that. Another interesting story to write, maybe. I don't know.
I'm a Family Guy. I'm a Family Guy guy. So
South Park to me is legendary. Like, I love South Park. I the fact that they are able to see something way before it happens. The Randy Dave, the Randy, what's his name? The woman episode. Yeah, Randy Marsh. No, not Randy Marsh. The
Lord
wrestler. No, there's this a scene with the wrestler. He says he's a woman.
It's the strong woman. Like, talking about the strong woman.
The Strong Woman Games is the greatest.
Way
episode.
Before, like
I'm not here to talk about my transition.
Or it's so incredible. Or when those two guys, like, they know how to write stories for films. Like, anyone who wants to learn how to write scripts, just freaking study South Park, because they invented something on how to narratively do things. But anyway, if we were to talk about American politics, I would be here for hours. So, I mean, it's up to you. But
I would not. I would leave immediately.
Well,
which is why we're doing a game thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Butter Biscuit 92 for 5. Spencer, stop it. Clickbait titles are nothing new. Every form of media does it. Vavra could do himself a favor and say nothing at all. What do you say to that, Spencer?
I say I disagree. I don't care if everybody is doing something bad. I'm going to call it out. I have never liked clickbait. That's why my titles get a little long over at Bounding, because I try to put as much good context in them as possible. I've got into this because I wanted to see better standards of treatment, of quality, of respect for players, for video game writers, for comic book, for everybody. And so I'm not going to stand here and go, oh yeah, they clickbaited, but it's okay because they're on my side. I still don't agree with it.
Right. Nerd. I mean, good. Yes.
Hell yeah, I'm a nerd.
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 All right. For $10 more, thank you very much, Butter Biscuit. Because at the end of the day, it's the developer that's going to make himself look bad, which could negatively impact the sales of the game. We're in a time now where famous people need to stop talking. I don't know that. I'm gonna push back slightly. Is Daniel Vavra famous people?
He is now, because he is, because we're talking about him. Like, it is actually the point. Well, okay,
this is 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go, 10 minutes. There you go.
But I agree with you, Jonas, on this. But I also agree with this comment, because, as I stated to Spencer, I don't like clickbait titles either. But it is, as we stated, an article about his game. So he should be responsible enough to actually read and see the entire thing before he responds to it. Because
but if you're going to come at somebody with aggression like that and go like, Frank's a moron with his reporting, and then like you go into my video or whatever, and you realize, like, now that I got your attention, Frank's actually a really good guy, and I'm here to tell you why you should, look at his reporting. I would probably care about that. You are going to feel like, you're going to go, what the heck? Because my headline just calls you out. I would not expect you to give me the time of day, because I started off in a spot where it did not make it clear that I was open to engaging, or I was engaging in good faith. It makes it just look like I'm attacking. I don't care what the content is, if you're going to present it in a way that you're just going to be a jerk.
But this is why, if you ignore it, it goes out away on its own. But if you actually respond to it in a way that, like, if you were to do that to me, let's say that I would have seen your article, I would have written that, I would have seen the article, I would probably respond with, hey, lovely article, wrong title though. It's like that's
right. No, I understand. Yes, that's you. That's if you were to read it. But what I'm trying to say is that nobody is under any obligation, if you're just being attacked, to give anybody your time of day. I know a lot of us here are going to go, oh, but he, why wouldn't he? His name was on it. But think about all the times on Twitter, all the times on social media, we see people in this sphere, people on this panel, people in the audience who get one, they see they take a statement wrong, or they read it, they get a joke wrong, or they see somebody say something and they think it's about them. There's too much here for us to go, oh, why aren't you giving me specifically the time of day? Guys, we have a limited time on this earth. You don't have to suffer fools, right? Like, you don't have to give your time of day to people who are just going to come at you and rail at you. And if you don't know who somebody is, even less of a reason to give them any interest.
Yep.
Like, I get that all the time. I get random people tagging me going, oh, this bounding article was stupid. Oh, I disagree with this writer. Oh, this writer should stay in his lane. I don't care. I don't know what critiques they have. They could be the best person in the world. They could be my future wife. But if they're going to come at me without, trying to give me at least a little respect and go, hey, can we talk? Then I'm going to go, if you're not going to give it to me, I'm not going to give it to you.
I mean, if she's going to be disrespectful, she got to be pretty high on that good looking scale. I'm just saying.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
If
it's not me in a wig, I'm not dealing with it.
If you're gonna be this crazy, you have to be this hot. Okay, anyway.
Get out the charts.
I love how you had to reverse that.
I did. It was hard. Yeah, it was really hard. Okay, so we're gonna get back to I love the conversation around journalism and the ethics of it, because but so many writers here, and that's the whole purpose of this channel. By the way, I did think it was good, but we do have a lot of super chats. Go ahead,
Radial Drago for £10. I get it, but if you took the time to watch the video, none of this would happen. True. I do think that taking these sides is also the problem here. They should just let the game.
But why does it have to be on Vavra to watch the video and not on Rev to make a less combative headline? Like, that's everybody here is going, oh, Vavra should have known better. Vavra should have known better. But and saying that Rev did nothing. But I'm sorry, Rev came with a very aggressive title to their video. That is something. That is a move in this game that we're playing.
Okay, this
is what I get for coming in the last half of the story. I have no idea.
How about just letting your product speak for itself?
Right.
What happened to that? What happened to, here is the thing that I made. Please judge it by its merits.
Hey,
you know what? I understand speaking up when you get upset, but just keep your damn mouth shut and let your product speak for yourself. After your product does the talking, then by all means be like, thank you. Well, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever.
You're reminding me of a time long past, Loki.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to say something. Okay. I love this. I wish the show was 5 hours long. It could be easily 5 hours long, but the problem is we have 2 stories to get to. We got a ton of support out there, and I want to believe it or not, I want to actually cover a bounding article, Spencer.
Yeah, that is true. We do have a bounding article.
I'll zip it. Sorry.
For $2. Wait, where's the rest of Culture's beard?
Oh yeah, no, I chopped it. Shirt. Yeah, no, I chopped it, but it's already grown a half an inch.
Yep.
I like the way you explained
right when it got cold.
The way you just exclaimed, like, "Oh, it's like you forgot it."
Yeah,
and then you just realized you forgot it in the other room.
Yep.
Yeah, I love my beard over there,
Marvin.
Jack Thompson, pretty sure he writes for the. Oh, sorry, Jack Thompson, pretty sure he writes for that extra credit channel now. That's in the.
Oh, I know that. That channel is so. That's for those of you who might not know the name off the top of your head. They're that channel who did the infamous don't play as Yahtzees in video games because that's going to make you one, or the this is what, of course orcs are black people, and they do it in very cartoony
extra
figure style.
Yeah, the kind of thing where they're seeing racism in things, but it actually just kind of proves that maybe they are.
Yeah.
Take a Foxfires for $5. Better standards for anything is possible since there's a saturation for everything, especially when the most popular videos are this like Mr. Beast. One thing I will say for Mr. Beast, he generally does come with the guarantee of what he says it is in the title of his videos.
I've just never seen a man with less negative soul. I look at his eyes and you've never had you are an actual homunculus. You were just made from clay.
No comment. Thomas Brown for $5. I don't like clickbait either. When responding to something, that fact should be remembered. Reacting without thinking or researching is bad too.
Yes.
Good comment.
Peer reviews.
Yes. And congratulations on your 20th super chat, Thomas Brown. Well done.
Wow. Tennille89 for $2 more. Spencer's not wrong to call for a better standard.
No, I wasn't saying that. Not in any way. I
don't think he's battling. I think he's just agreeing, and I agree. I agree with you.
I agree with him agreeing. I agree with
you
Spencer's
agreeing.
agreeing.
I disagree with you agreeing with me.
And here's Butterbiscuit for $10. Spencer, I agree with your ethics, but others don't. When I say famous, I meant others selling a product due to space. If you're selling a product, stop talking. They aren't owed my money. When it comes down to it, I think there is something lost in the media space by being aware of how the sausage is made. And when companies market based off of immutable characteristics and things like that, they put themselves into, I would say that is like crossing the threshold of someone else's personal space when they start to say, well, we're virtuous for doing this thing. That's when maybe that's time to rebut. Butterbiscuit 92 for 5 more. So if they aren't owed my money, then stop talking. Let your game speak for itself. This whole thing could have been avoided. Rev isn't selling the game.
And that I can give you a big resounding amen. It's just like what Loki said. Be quiet. Let the game speak for itself. If you're going to go out and do press, it might be a little corporate-y, but talk about what you like about the game. I know it's not going to be a bunch of headlines or whatever, but I'd rather hear, oh, you liked developing this and that, than you trying to come out and defend against every single critic. Because to this point, to Ding Vavra, he's going to get so much of this. He's a game developer, like Butterbiscuit said. He's a relatively quote unquote famous figure, however we want to define that, right? And so he's going to get it. And if you just spend all day going, nuh-uh, you just look really, really bad. I don't know if you guys remember, but when the Borderlands movie came out, everybody went on Twitter, everybody was on social media going, this movie's bad. This should have never happened. This is awful. And Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox, who owns the actual Borderlands series of games, he was on Twitter replying to everybody going, why be more creative, constructive? Could you explain why you don't like it? And it's just like, dude, this is sad. This is just move on.
Well, I mean, and they just acquired Gearbox, which is sad.
Well,
when they bought him back after Borderlands 2, I thought it was sad.
My question, of course, is Shigeru Miyamoto, is he part of the Liberal Democratic Party or the Constitutional Democratic Party in Japan? It's very important to me when I'm considering which Mario game.
Oh my goodness.
I need to see his tweet history.
I think he has tweeted, but it's only been. I love that guy.
He's probably got a Twitter that's just like a generic old man feed Twitter that's like logged on, had breakfast, missed my kids.
He had to stop talking about what he was into because Nintendo didn't like anyone having an idea what he would make a game of.
Yeah, and look, it sounds like my Twitter feed. To be fair, Spencer. Anyway, to be fair,
all of ours.
to be more fair, I'm going to cover a bounding story. Okay,
bounding into coverage.
That's right. Let's cover the coverage. This one's amazing. This is courtesy of Jonas J. Campbell. We had a nice conversation about Lego and Nintendo teaming up for a retro console that could steal the spotlight from the Switch 2. Jonas, take it away with your thoughts on this particular article.
Very simply, for those of you who are not aware of the headline that is on screen right now, Lego and Nintendo are teaming up for a retro console that could steal the spotlight from the Switch 2. That's clickbait right there, by the way, Spencer. Actually, I was laughing when I read that headline because I knew exactly what it was when I saw the image.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, you got me there. You got me.
And you know what? You're not wrong that it's a little clickbait. But that was Nicola's choice. And I said, all right, if you're going to defend that title, here you go. I'm still for free speech. I'm still going to go, I don't know about that. But if it's what you want to say, go for it.
I wasn't making a literal.
I know. I'm smiling over here. I'm laughing over here.
Me too, which is really, when it comes down to it, it's clickbait for something that is a fun joke. Nintendo is a new console.
You're correct. Yeah. I can get behind that one as well.
Yeah, but no, it's not the Switch 2. Surprising the gaming community across the emotional spectrum. Nintendo has partnered with Lego to create a Game Boy Lego set. While fans can't wait long enough for any official Switch 2 news, this nostalgia tap could in fact rival the new console in popularity?
I can answer that very soundly with no, it won't, because the one thing that they probably forgot is yes, people who played Game Boy, they like the retro stuff, and they will be very niche, but it's not going to be a majority of people because they want new stuff, new consoles. They want Nintendo, they want Switch 2, they want PlayStation 6, they want Xbox 7000, whatever they're going to call it. The retro stuff is very niche, and it's going to be only for the people who used to play Game Boy and PlayStation 1, which is also like me. And yeah, they're going to sell, but it's not going to steal the spot. Like, that's just ridiculous.
So the joke here, Frank, if it's not clear, is that it's not a real console. This is only Lego. I don't think there's any electronics here.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So now that being said, with Lego, it is probably going to cost as much as a actual console should cost.
Yeah.
The number of times that I've looked at a Lego set and like looked at the price point and was like, I could either get this or an Xbox. So
it's like the one toy line that's priced out its actual demographic.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because people hold on to their Legos forever. I think that the Legos that I had when I was a kid are still, I mean, they're still clicking together just as good as they ever were.
Great.
If there's one thing companies who are not private need to learn is study Lego, the company, because as being a privately owned company, Lego has really understood how to continue to be successful and not do stupid stuff and still earn a shit on them. Donkey amount of money.
They make partnerships with brands that allow them to utilize like the recognizable aspects of their brand, you know, and and then they can just move on to the next popular thing. So they have understood that just licensing the ability to bring this back or partner with people makes it so that the product never goes out of style and it's always relevant. Disney used to do that. They don't do that anymore. The flywheel doesn't exist. This is happening inside of video games now, and they're really doing themselves a disservice. Lack of partnerships. You know who's doing it really well in the video game sphere? I bet you do, Jonas.
Is it Nintendo?
No, it's Fortnite.
Oh, Fortnite. Yeah, I was playing that with
you gave him the most Jonas layup of all time.
I know.
I was reading the private chat here. We are about to lose Marvin.
Oh no.
And I just wanted to make sure we send him off properly.
Yeah.
Marvin, you have got a live stream later tonight. You want to tell everybody about it?
Yeah, Toonie Talk Wrestling tonight at 8 p.m. Come on down. Also check out Toonitown TV. We got Toonie Talk TV on Thursday night at 8 p.m. live. If you are subscribed to Toonitown TV, just make sure you still subscribe because we've had a devil of a time lately with YouTube axing some of our subscribers. People are telling me that they've been unsubscribed without their knowledge. So please make sure
Wasn't
that you guys
Pro saying
are,
he was going through some weird channel weirdness like the other day too?
Everyone is.
Yeah, there was some strange stuff over the last 2 weeks, I'd say.
And of course, make sure you're checking out
the other day.
Of course, make sure you're checking out That Park Place for all the news that should be fun every day, including all of that great gaming news that we're bringing in. Frank's got a new article coming out in the next day or two about a whole bunch of stuff. So make sure you're keeping it to That Park Place. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you for being here, Marvin.
Marvin.
Yeah, the thing about Fortnite is there's a continual refreshment. There is the shop updates every 8 hours, and so and it doesn't have everything in it, because if the shop had everything, I don't think everyone would pay attention. They know what they're doing as far as nostalgia goes. In fact,
they'd probably make less money too because of the you wouldn't have the fear of missing out. Because I admit that gets me sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to spend money right now, but when else will Goku be back in the shop?
Yeah, well, you know what I would really I'm going to tell you. One character that just came into the item shop, I wish that she wasn't, because one of my kids is got the Miku song stuck in his head, and he keeps singing it over and over again in this fake Japanese voice, and it's so high pitched.
Greatest game of all time.
I love my kids, but my goodness, if you could have picked the most annoying verbal stim in the history of the world.
Whew. It's okay, Jonas. As your friend, when she is ready to go to her first Miku concert, I will be her chaperone. You do not have to take it.
Amazing.
That's a true friend right there.
I have never played Fortnite. Just putting it out there.
It's one of those things that is a little controversial for how basic it is. It's fine for competition. I play it with my kids and we have a good time. So
no, I know how it is. I just it's out of protest. That's what I'm doing. It's like
all right.
Nope.
This is popular.
I just
I'm
don't
not playing.
like it. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I'm the same way about Rocket League. I'm protesting that company.
We've got no, you're not. We have a headline. We're gonna.
Oh yeah, here it comes.
Yeah, and this is
get him, Frank.
This is important. This is DragonAge the Veilguard.
Yeah.
This game it failed. The director of this game, Karine Bush, gone. I'm not going to define their pronouns for them or you. Rumored closure of Edmonton studio is, I think, probably accurate since they don't have any hirings posted there, and they missed their sales targets by 85%. This is the headline
85%
for the day.
One to look some basic math. That's let's see if we say that the rumors that how much it cost. Okay, it's about $250 million, right? So if they lost okay, never mind. That's a lot. That's way more than I expected.
Yeah, they sold a little over 1 million copies. They were trying to get to 10 million copies.
Well, this is the same when it comes down to it. It's the same thing as what people are on watch for Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Mm-hmm.
This is people are sick of this, and the thing about video games is they never get old. There are still people playing Atari right now. Not as many as there were back in the day, but when you can just go back and play Dragon Age Origins, why would you spend time playing Dragon Age? The
other way around. When you can go back and play Atari, why would you play Dragon Age?
There you go. Other than playing Veilguard, why would you not go back and play the game that they were hoping would inspire you to play Veilguard? It's not like a movie where you watch it and it never changes. It's something that you can go and relive that same thing, and it might even be a little bit better. It'll be a little bit easier. Going back and doing it. What a
like actively interacting with it.
What a waste of money.
Sitting there.
Yeah.
We have
about this. Sorry.
Well, no, we got 4 relatively intelligent people here and me. So Spencer, why do you think
start from the bottom, go to the top? I like it.
Wait, 4 intelligent individuals. I need to make sure I'm one of them.
And me. Anyway, Karine Bush is gone. Why is Karine Bush gone, Spencer?
Karine Bush is gone because she made the one of the worst games of just all time. It's a combo of, like Jonas said, everybody is sort of we've got our hackles up about anything sort of like woke or whatever you want to define that term, especially in like right now with the recent election win and now the inauguration. We're going to be in that little window for a little time where everybody's hyper aware of it. So everybody sees that. Everybody saw what happened with Veilguard. I know Corinne said that, they're leaving for another studio for their dream project, but that sort of to me just sounds like cope. And like, yeah, they probably have another job, but I mean, you screwed up Dragon Age. That's a big thing. That was a big franchise. And if you're leaving, that means you took a massive L that nobody could deny. No amount of PR or fudging numbers can deny that was an L.
Oh yeah, that's very true. And Loki, what does it mean when you miss your sales targets by 85%? I mean, what does that mean for your game, and what does that mean for your company?
What it means, ladies and gentlemen, is I believe we showed the graph here. We showed like, okay, Dragon Age Origins sold so many copies, and Dragon Age 2 sold so many copies, and Mass Effect sold so many copies. This did not continue the upper trend of sell. This went back and did worse than the first game. You have a problem. If you have increased sales every single time you've come out with the game, and this is the 4th or 5th game in a series that you've come out with, and this didn't sell as well as the first game. What did you do wrong between D or C and D that made E flop? What happened? Well, what happened was
you're reverse engineering the underpants no meme, Loki, but doing it in the negative instead of the positive.
I mean, they didn't sell as many as the first game. The first game sold the worst because it was new. I mean, most of the goodwill for the first game came from Mass Effect being such a great game. They were like, oh, from the people that brought you Star Wars, the Old Republic, and Mass Effect. Here's Dragon Age.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you do that?
I gotta ask you. I gotta ask Frank. Frank, you know what's going on with the studio thing, right? Because why are they closing the studio?
So I wrote an article a while back that was posted on that Park Place where EA has been. I mean, you guys remember the EA has always been nominated worst company every year for a very long time. Ever since they got yeah. Because the pay to win situation, FIFA, all of that. But the thing about EA is that they are earning gigantic amount of money. Like they don't need money. And what happened is that I noticed they really don't. They don't.
No,
they have
I know.
And what happened is that I noticed a pattern that suddenly EA wasn't the most hated company in the video game industry. It started to become Ubisoft. And what happened is that EA changed a lot of things, such as they started giving money to games that will give them a better reputation rather than actually money. So I wasn't surprised when I heard the news that, they're shutting it down, because that reflects badly on them. They're not like the thing I heard from sources also, especially in EA marketing, is that they were told to toe the line when it came to attacking gamers, such as what they used to do with Battlefield. Remember, like, if you don't like it, don't buy it, because of criticism of, historical revisionism. And that stopped. And that's EA that's going on and saying, like, look, we need good reputation. We don't want to be the horrible video game industry company scapegoat, because that's what led us to get these hearings, which now are talking about gambling in games. That's thanks to gamers complaining. So the article actually talks about how it all started with a little known game, which is Star Wars... not Survivor, the first one, Star Wars
Jedi Outcast?
Jedi Fallen? Yeah, Jedi
Fallen Order,
which was a good game. And it surprisingly gave EA a reputational boost. And it surprised them, because this game, they did not want to market it. They weren't that interested. Respawn had their own thing. They just let them do their thing. There was zero marketing. Then the sequel, massive marketing, massive praise, everything. And it was still a good game, even though it was optimized to shit. Donkey, but so I think that's why they're shutting it down, because they don't care about the money when it comes to Dragon Age earning anything, because if they did, they would have had DLC ready, they would have had anything that would milk it to death, and they don't have that. So I think that's the strategy they're going for. They need to just get rid of all the bad reputation, and probably in the next year, you're not going to hear a lot of bad things about EA's release games. I don't think so, except for FIFA, as always, because FIFA is FIFA. But that's things. That's the thing I've been seeing recently, and what sources tells me. I mean, after all, they have so much money; they just want to keep having the money.
Right, and there's something of that. Like Disney is kind of in a similar spot right here, where they're mostly looking to impress the investors and keep going for one more quarter, each quarter, just trying to impress Wall Street. And they can finance things with debt, they can resell things, they can cut divisions and whatever they can do. And there's more of a business game than an actual good product here. And Ubisoft, since they are the big villain on the block now, even though with BioWare, that's under what, Activision Blizzard? So is that Microsoft now? Oh, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I was losing my mind there for a second.
No, I had to do the
ridiculous mergers and acquisitions.
And track it.
Right. But Ubisoft has failed at the business game so spectacularly that it's just going to end up swallowed up by Tencent. EA at least has competent managers at the top that were able to stave off being bought out in this way, even though apparently there's some talk of Disney every now and then, which, merging two zombie companies together. Great.
That fixes everything, right?
Right. But and by the way, I've put the article in the chat, and I'll do it one more time here. You guys should go read Frank's work. He's got great thoughts on the video game business, and we're happy to have him contributing to that Park Place. I think you make a very good point here. EA is not a better company than they were, just quieter.
Yeah. and
I agree.
As stated, like the difference between Ubisoft, Disney, and EA is like, first of all, Ubisoft and Disney have actual financial problems. Not as big as, like, Disney doesn't have as big ones as Ubisoft. EA doesn't. They don't have financial problems. The investors are happy with the money that they get, but they have a reputational problem, a pretty big one, because they got hearings back. I don't remember exactly the dates, but you guys remember that they were, like, in Belgium, they created laws to fight their games.
Mhm.
That was a big blow for them. While Ubisoft, which in my opinion on the financial aspect, they're completely in debt. Like, I don't even think Tencent's going to buy them. I think they're going to buy their assets and that's it. Disney also has a financial problem, so they need to fix two things: the reputation and the financial problems. So they're going to be quieter. But EA, they are just focusing on reputation right now. That's all they want. And that's what I'm seeing, because look at their stock, it still goes up. They are valued like beyond anything I've seen, and that's thanks to their FIFA franchise and their monetization of Battlefield and other ventures. Like they earn so much on FIFA, it's disgusting. So yeah, no, I don't. I mean, they're not going to go down easily at all. Maybe if they lose the FIFA license, which they won't, because they pay the FIFA people so much just for
There's no way they'll let it go. They'll just pay more money for it. If that somehow ended up in a bidding war, EA's future would depend on it.
Yeah.
So,
and they still have Madden and everything else. So,
and I would have been better informed had I read more of Frank's article before this started.
Yeah,
just like you could be too.
You should definitely check out that link, and definitely check out the source of all the wonderful material you have, whether it be Bounding into Comics, whether it be that Park Place, or just my channel. Show up at any of these people's channels. You'll be far more informed. I do want to say this because I have to exit. I'm going to let Jonas lead us out with all the wonderful super chats, but I am headed over to Mr. H.
Senor H.O.
The H cast. That's right. And I think Marvin, I'm not sure if Marvin joins us today or Thursday. I think Thursdays, which means that from here
you'll never know until you tune into the Hcast.
That's true. From here, I'll be going there, and then there will be going to another place. I think it's a wrestling place with Marvin after that. So we've got lots to get to. I want to say thanks for having me. Jonas, thanks for picking up the slack as I leave today. But do join us tomorrow for a new video. I think we've got one fun one out there that you don't want to miss. Stone Cold Loki was particularly verbose, so you won't want to miss that at all. And then we've got more amazing game coverage, courtesy of all these gentlemen's writing, coming right at you. So do check out that game place. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. And Jonas, take it away. I'll see you guys.
All right. Now that culture's gone, we can finally have some fun.
That's true.
Sorry, you were supposed to exit at that moment.
Now we know. Now we can actually talk video games.
Yeah.
Fortnite hour.
Yeah. I actually, on another day, I'd really love to have a long, not a long talk, but I think there's some discussion about the Switch 2 hardware changes that they're making.
Oh, yeah.
That could be a lot of fun. What are you doing here, man?
Supposed to be in the back. I got to upload stuff.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, Tennille89 says Randy Pitchford for $2. Bass player Iffy for $4.99. Lego sets have always been expensive. I remember the major sets back in the 90s and early 2000s were $150 to $250. Yeah, I could have bought a Sandcrawler Lego set, or I could have bought a brand new next-gen console. That's what I remember.
Oof.
So
you run into that like Back to the Future. Have you seen the Back to the Future Lego set that like lights up? It's big. It's a big one.
Is the one with the DeLorean?
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, ooh, that looks so $399. No.
Yeah, there's probably, speaking of things that might be $399, that goes back to the Switch 2 conversation, doesn't it? It's not going to be 400. I bet it's 450 myself, but
yeah.
Jacob Foxfires for $5. So it's either a Lego Game Boy model or the giant Lego puppet Bowser that is posable and can shoot a fire piece. That's the other thing about these kits is they're generally not just let me make the thing. Like I think is it World 1.1 or World 1.2 that is embedded in the side of the NES or the question mark block that also folds out and reveals the Mushroom Kingdom from Mario 64. The Lego kits are
pretty neat.
Are they're actually pretty masterful in the way that they do it. Base player Iffy for $4.99. Jonas, if you competition game and or settle family disputes with games, play Smash like a normal human being. I do play Smash Brothers, and now my daughter is good enough that she can beat me. It also is confusing.
Actual challenge and competition.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole different animal here. Also, they gang up on me, the little twerps. I love them.
Well, you can take away their allowances.
That's true.
Checkmate.
Wait, I'm supposed to be giving them an allowance?
Never mind. Edit this. Editors, take this out before Jonas's kids hear that part.
Yeah.
Most inappropriate thing we've ever said.
They live for free with you. They eat for free. I mean, that's what I hear. I mean, kids.
It's true.
They're technically supposed to be your spawns.
Hey, Dad, can you get me the Hatsune Miku bundle on Fortnite? How much is it? $25.
Yeah, it was expensive. It hurt, but I still did it for the culture.
Yeah. The Mum for $1.99. I will never win on the LB, but TU panel for news. LB. What am I missing here for LB?
I never won.
What is it, the Mum?
I never won on the LB.
Long bottom?
Leaderboard.
There we go. And the Mum, thank you so much. We appreciate all the super chats. Even if they're $2, and if they're $500, yeah, we appreciate
50
those.
cents.
Radial Drago for £5. The reason EA are earning a load of money is literally because of FIFA and the casual gamers who throw the money at it. Yep. That is something that that Ubisoft tried to do over and over again with Assassin's Creed. We're just going to do the same thing over and over again. But when you have to put a narrative on it, it gets really old really quick.
And all that decides who wins game of the year as far as sports games go. Want to know why WWE was included in the best sports games of the year? Because they had a card mode where it was like, here's $100 card you had to buy just to unlock one costume you can't normally get in the store or whatever. And you're like, are you insane? But people buy it and people pay it. People do whatever they do. So,
yep. Insanity. We didn't even talk about Marvel Snap coming back because it turns out that's also owned by ByteDance, did we? Radial Drago.
We did.
Oh,
we talked about Snap.
We did.
Oh, that's what you talked about before I
got here.
All right, cool. Radial Drago for £5. The EA FIFA audience, what a word, EA FIFA, are the same as Rockstar GTA audience. It's because of them that GTA 6 will be successful. That's what I want to see. I want to see. Well, actually, I have no interest in GTA 6. I'm not. It's not my cup of tea. If I'm going to spend a lot of time in a game, it's not going to be GTA.
Are you done playing Red Dead Redemption 2 now, and that's why you're not interested?
No, I'm not done. I have to choose my battles. It's going to be a long time getting through Red Dead Redemption 2. It popped up on the screen, and the boys were like, "Ooh, what's that?" Like, let's hold up on that one for a little while. Let's go see if we can get the Godzilla skin in Fortnite.
Horse Simulator 5. That's what that is.
Yep. Felon Attorney says, Jonas, don't get greedy. I know. I cringed when I said 500, like I'm asking for a $500 super chat. I'm not. I'm okay, but I appreciate whatever is sent in, of course. I'm not asking for it when I say that, but of course, if I even say that I'm not asking for it, it sounds like I'm asking for it.
I'm asking for it. Give me your money. There you go, Jonas. I'll take the heat off of you.
Speaking of which, when is foil variant?
Foil variants Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern. I don't even know what time. Go to YouTube foil variant, hit the button. Neither Andrew or I can ever remember it.
That's fantastic. Also, Loki, you got Loki's Mornings of Mischief every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Did I just take the plug that you would make there? Tell us anything you want to about that show.
No, it's Loki. He's always got something.
Always got something. 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Right now, it's cold. Jonas, it's cold. It's cold in Texas. Cold.
And Frank, I love that you're working with that Park Place, and I love it whenever you grace us with your articles. Got anything you want to shout out here?
No, thank you for bringing me here. As always, this is fun. Like I could go for hours. Really, I could about anything. I'm just a little bit late to the party with news right now because, as I said, I'm moving and it's back and forth, 25 minutes driving, and so I'm a little bit stuck. But more articles are coming out tomorrow. One is coming up if Marvin likes it, and then I have 2 other ones in the pipeline. I hope people will enjoy it. Go and find them at thatparkplace.com, and otherwise stay safe and don't use clickbait articles, as Spencer says. but don't make article titles too long either, like Spencer says. In fact, just be centrist. Be in the middle.
Follow Frank's lead.
Yeah. Be good, but be a little bad. But be bad, but be a little good. As always, the truth and virtue is somewhere in the middle. Hey, look at that. Raven Redgrave, the Writing Raven, is out there in the chat. Also, another wonderful contributor to that Park Place, and of course on the Gothic Therapy channel with Master of the TDS. Not that TDS, the Total Defense Shogun. Glad to see you all. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And as Culture often says here, get your game on.